Good, good evening, everyone. Welcome back to another Monday here at Career Living Fellowship at Religious Science Church, um, a, a, re- um, a religious science church here in Phoenix, Arizona. It's a pleasure for me to be here every Monday and with something that we call the Monday practice with me, with Reverend Jorge. It's an honor to hold this space all the time. So Monday practice is a space that we create 11 fellowship to expand and to enhance our understanding of a spiritual practice. So when we think in a spiritual practice, we normally think on meditation, prayer, yoga, and mantras. They're the most recognized spiritual practice, but there are a bunch of new other spiritual practices that are very small. Sometimes they are very simple to do. That it helps us to regroup, realign, and have a more proactive way to respond versus in a reactive way. So that's the intention with the spiritual practice, always to keep us connected with the spirit all the time. So that's the exploration we do here in Monday spiritual practice. But and before I continued with my speech, and I forgot and I forgot this very important part. I would just want to say thank you to all of you who support this space, and thank you for all of you who give us a thumbs up or leave a comments on Facebook or YouTube comment section, because it's really helped us to improve and to connect with all of you here. So thank you at the same time. At the same time, if you want to support us in here at Monday Practice and Creative Level Fellowship, also I invite you to use go to a website and do the donations there, or use a PayPal link that is showing up in the comment section as well on the chat in YouTube. And that will be very helpful to us as well. You can use actually the text system with with our sections here. So it was very helpful if you also support us, and we are very grateful for all that. So continue with Monday practice. Let me do something here so it removes a little the light reflected. um, Continue with this. We as well because we are all interconnected, and well, we are in one union things. We trying to connect the Monday practice what we are exploring during Sunday service. So for the month of October, we have been working on forgiveness as a new beginning. And yes, I'm not going to use forgiveness practices because it's a topic that Reverend Sherry it masters on that. So, but we have and do a related concept with what we're talking on Sundays. So, for yesterday for Sunday, we the topic was dare to walk the talk in forgiveness and to express yourself and to keep yourself always centered in that what you are doing and what best to do the practice there. So for this month, knowing that is we're exploring forgiveness, something that runs very parallel with the practice of forgiveness is detachment as a practice. Yeah, the practice of detachment. So detachment is a practice that we can actually see our feelings, our thoughts, our ideas, or beliefs, and not take it as a personal, not identify with that, and actually this attachment of all of that, so we can run free. We have been doing this every Monday since we started with October, and we have been exploring with three with movements and related with the one spiritual practice that we call the Monday practice, the welcoming prayer. So this has been related with that. So the we have the first movement that we did was the acknowledgement, which is the first moment. The second moment was the self inquiry. The third moment was the processing and detachment. And now the last movement is the freedom that we get by doing this practice of detachment. So why we choose the welcoming prayer? Because the welcoming prayer has all these actions, that movements of detachment. So it's actually a very complete practice that it comes from the contemplative um, uh, groups around United States and around the world. So it's a beautiful prayer that allow us to explore that. So we have the four movements. The acknowledge. That's what it calls the welcoming prayer, because we acknowledge the feelings and the situations that we have. Then we self-inquire, so we go deep inside of that feeling, that recognize what is really behind of that feelings, that explosion, the feelings that we're be feeling, and get a clarity, so we can actually return into God, which is actually the third part, which is the process. Sometimes we think that we have to do everything in our lives. It's actually the process is to give it to God and be open to a very, very a greater and better options in our lives. And now the fourth movement is actually the result of doing this prayer, which is the freedom. After we doing this prayer and constantly do the practices, the sensation of freedom starts to expand and expand and expand. And expanding with the freedom is because we are totally detached of the reactions that situations, people, thoughts, or ideas or feelings that produce in ourselves. We are already given to God. So we are starting to see life in a different way, in a more free way. So that's why we are doing this practice. So and that's been the thing. So we are with the time. Perfect, 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 perfect. So let's go start with the practice. I'm going to play some music. Let's play. Perfect. And I want that all of us take a deep breath. Another deep breath. One another breath. And slowly we are returning to a natural way to breathe, without forcing, without trying to controlling. Just let it be. Return to the breathing and bring all your attention to that process. And by doing so, we start to recognize in the presence that is always there present. That essence that always has been present as well. That life that is present. And we let it go, all that ideas, all fears of things for a moment. And we just enjoy, rejoice in that feeling, the silence, and the feeling that is in the center. And for this practice, which this practice is supposed to be done in the moment that we have a feeling or idea or any condition that make us feel outside of our center. So I want you bring a memory that what happened something today, maybe a conversation with your boss, maybe a dispute with your co-worker, or some kind of discussion with your parents or your daughters and sons, something that really brought some feeling around you. And when you are feeling again, trying to bring the feeling that you have, sadness, angry, disappointment, whatever it is, bring it to you. Bring it here right now. Now that we have identified the feeling and we are revived there, so we start our process or welcoming prayer by saying it to that feeling, welcome, welcome, welcome. And that welcome is not like feel of guilt or like why I'm having this feel or why it's just feel it the way it is and say welcome, welcome, welcome. And I say to that feeling, that sensation that you are recalling, leave it again. I welcome everything that comes to me today because I know it is for my healing. I welcome everything that comes to me today because I know it is for me, for my healing. And we continue the movement by saying, I welcome all thoughts, feelings, emotions, persons, situations, and conditions. We welcome whatever was feeling, whatever was thinking, the emotions, the memory, the person, the situation that you were or the condition. Without any judgment, just we tell them, welcome, welcome, welcome. And then we will move into the second movement. And is to recognize the self, inquire. Know that every situation has an underlying real cause, which is the cause is from us directly. It's not outside, it's not the other person, it was not the conditional situation, it's within us, our interpretation. So that self inquiry, we recognize that is something behind of that. And we say to that, I let go of my desire, our need for power and control. Sometimes all these feelings, all this awkwardness that we experience is for our need or our desires to be in control or have power. I let go of my desire for affection, esteem, approval, and pleasure. Look at the feeling that you have without create more guilt, without creating any judgment around that, and self-inquire if it's whatever was the situation was more a call for love, for affection, for esteem, for approval, or for feeling good. Then we say, I let go of my desire for survival and security. Sometimes when we feel mad, we feel disappointed, we feel worry or with fear, the underline is that our need to feel that we are secure in survival. And we forgot that we are whole and complete. I let go of my desire to change any situation, condition, person, or situation. And finally, that's the last self inquire of our feelings. I do this, or I feel this, or this emotion that I have is a representation of my need for desire to change situations, conditions, persons, or myself without recognizing that behind of that all is love and is my interpretation. So we move in this welcoming prayer to the last movement. I'm open to the love, a presence of God, and God's action within. I am open to the love and presence of God and God's action within. And let's rest a moment with that. I let I open myself. So we take all these emotions, all the self-inquiry we have done, and we do the process by open ourselves to a better understanding, to a better point of view, knowing that love is always present there, and we give it that to God, so God takes care of all of the aspects. And that's the last movement of this prayer. And I want you to start feel how you're feeling right now. By having this prayer that's in different movements, we still feel the freedom, the liberation, that we are no longer get trapped by the idea of this identity based on that needs or desires that just paint a different reality. And now we are more open for the action within, for the thoughts within, with the presence in God within. So whatever condition, whatever situation, whatever feeling is actually look at with love, with love, with a higher vision. And there is no identity. May we find that everything is to our service, to our healing. And that's why we accept the present. So in that way we can really change. Not from the needs, from the scarcity, but from the love and the wholeness. And when you rest in that freedom for a moment, and feel it. Feel the difference between the first emotions, first feelings, and right now. How expansive it feels. How rich. How joyful. And now I invite you to smile and to keep this emotion, this feeling, replicate and continue expanding during the night. And I really invite you to revisit this video or the other ones, which has been the same but with the explanation of every movement, so we can practice the welcoming prayer during the week. So when you find yourself being in the middle of something emotional, something conflictive, so a condition, just back to these three movements. Feel it, recognize it, give it a self-inquiry of the why is you're having this in reality, without any guilt, without any accusation, and just give it to God and open yourself for a better option. And we will see how much our lives change. It's have done it for me. I love this prayer a lot. So this is a parallel for a process of forgiveness. This is more about detachment, more about experiencing life in the fullness and quickly in a more direct way. And this is where we have been exploring here today. So this is our time for now. Thank you for being here again and again. I'm going to stop the music. And if you like the music, I really invite you to is Under the Waves by Vortex. You can find this in iTunes and Spotify for any streaming service. I really invite you to support our artists around the world. And hopefully you are here. Please don't forget to give us a thumbs up or write comments about your experience with the prayer, with the experience of this. And if come back later on the week and tell us how you was your experience with this practice. So we really want to know all of this. And thank you again for being here. I see Mary Jane was say hello in the chat. Say good things, Mary Jane. Thank you for interacting with us live. And this is now our time. Thank you again for being here at Creator 11 Fellowship. And I see you next Monday and also during the week during midday meditation. So have a great day, all of you. Thank you. Bye bye.